Hello everyone. Welcome back to Let's Vibe podcast. If you're watching on video, we're in my favorite little cozy spot in my apartment. And obviously I love my couch and I've been filming on my couch, but I decided to move to this corner of the couch because we're also recording this on a Saturday night. It's 8:38 right now. The sun is down. And I just wanted to be cozy. We have my Squishmallow Clint here. And this is Tino behind me. And this is just like the ultimate like Saturday hang. You know what I mean? And I thought that this would be the perfect time to talk about my Elements Music Festival experience from a little bit of a different lens because I posted a vlog story time kind of version of my Elements experience where it wasn't like as much, here's what I'm doing and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Like it was very much like kind of walking you guys through the thought process of everything with Elements and whatnot. And so in today's episode, I kind of want to talk about this idea and this quote that was really ringing true for me throughout the entire weekend. And it is the quote that you wouldn't have had the opportunity if you were not ready. Because if you didn't know, I'll kind of backtrack here a little bit. I worked on my first festival marketing team, media team, whatever you call it, on-site team ever at Elements Music Festival this past weekend. And I didn't even know that that was something I necessarily wanted to do. Like I kind of have just gone throughout my festival career, gone throughout like my content creating career, and just kind of like been attracting what comes, seeing what feels good, saying yes to what feels good, no to what doesn't. But I never really considered actually working on a festival team. Like I've done like the one-off kind of things here and there. And managing Elements TikTok account fell into my lap last year. I had a person that I had worked with on Gray Area reach out to me, which I had grown Gray Area's TikTok to 50,000 followers from 2021 to 2022. And so, yeah, my contact there reached out to me and was like, hey, we just need help with Elements TikTok account if you're interested. And, I had heard things about Elements in the past. I had never been. I had some friends who were like die hard, like Elements fans. I also had, people who had gone over the past couple of years, maybe had some not so great experiences. Like it was always just mixed, right? What I had heard. But I was like, yeah, like I'm down to help out. Like, I know TikTok, I love festivals, like why not, and it seemed like I would have kind of like the creative to work with and stuff. So I was like, you know what, like, yeah, why not? I was in a yes era. So I started managing that TikTok account. I want to say June, maybe May of last year. I wasn't able to go to the actual festival just with like 9 to 5 stuff. It just like wasn't going to work out with the timing because it's in August and like I had ARC and like other stuff. So I wasn't able to go, which ended up kind of working out because the hurricane came through, right? And so then going into kind of this year, I was still kind of like posting one-off things. I had grown the account from 2,500 followers to about 7,000 followers starting at Elements Weekend, which is really cool for not having like, a whole lot of content truly to work with because I didn't really have a whole lot of iPhone content to work with. And so, yeah, I'd been managing this account and then they invited me to go to the festival and work on site on the marketing team. And I was super pumped about it. But obviously, like going into something like this, my brain was just like, are we ready for this? Can we actually do this? Like, are we going to be able to, what if this, what if that, like all of like the self-doubt started really coming in. And that's why like I wanted to talk about this episode of like, you would not have the opportunity if you were not ready. And when you were handed these opportunities, like don't second guess them and don't psych yourself out, because I think a lot of the times we like get in our head about it of like, oh, but like what if this, what if that, what if this goes wrong, what if this doesn't work out, or what if I look stupid, what if I fail, what if blah 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 blah. And I was dealing with that, and come to find out I had nothing to worry about. Like, I was more than well equipped to do this job, and it definitely paid off. The account is almost at 10,000 followers now, which is crazy. To have almost 3,000 followers worth of growth is just absolutely incredible. And I definitely learned a lot about myself, my creativity. I put myself out there asking random people to help me film content if I could ask them questions. I put myself out there asking artists questions. Like, it was definitely one of those things that really pushed my edge and pushed my comfortability. And now that I've done it, I'm like, oh my God, I want to keep doing it. Like, I was just so in my element, in my flow. Like, I love documenting, and I love taking videos and photos, and I love showcasing an experience and telling a story. And this experience really highlighted that. And so if you have something, an opportunity or something coming your way, like, just remind yourself that you wouldn't have the opportunity if you were not ready. If something is coming in to your aura, your like realm right here, it's happening for a reason. And it's because someone believes in you, or someone is giving you this opportunity, or you're being challenged, you're being tested, right? And challenge and test don't necessarily have to be a negative thing. Like, it could be because, you've been doing the work and now it's time for you to really rise. And that's something that I really feel like I was working through during the Elements weekend, was just like pushing those thoughts away, right? And just being like, you know what? I'm just going to do it anyway. Like, fuck it, right? I feel like I also threw out anything and everything I thought I knew about the algorithm, and just like was posting and posting and creating and posting onto the next one, post onto the next one, And so for you, if you really feel like you're really questioning, getting these opportunities or good things into your life, or things coming into your aura or orbit or whatever, like, take a second to just be like, you know what? No, like, I deserve this. I am deserving of this. These thoughts are coming up because I'm coming to, the peak of this mountain, right? Or I'm coming to this point, and your brain is just trying to steer you back to safety. It's trying to steer you back to comfortability. And it wants you to it doesn't want you to fail, but it just wants you to be back in the safe zone, because who knows what's going to happen on the other side. There's so many unknowns. What if we get canceled as a festival? What if another weather thing happens? Or what if something happens and everyone has a terrible time? Like, all these what if scenarios were coming up in my head going into Elements weekend, and even throughout the weekend of what if this, what if that, or asking artists, what if they think I'm weird? What if that, and then I come to find out, I would ask a random person to film a video, and they're like, oh my God, I watch your videos. Yeah, I'll film something for you, and it really just started to also remind me that, instead of thinking what could go wrong, start thinking what could go right. We start to think about what if this, what if that, what if this goes wrong, what if this goes badly. Start to view the other way of what if we do gain, a bunch of followers? What if this post does well? What if this artist says yes to filming this thing? What if this person says yes to filming this thing, right? What if we capture the perfect content, starting to view it from that point of view. And I even say this too, in my 9 to 5, I'm starting to take customers. And so I've been there for over a month, and now I'm starting to get ramped up and take customers, because I'm a customer success manager. And I feel this coming up again of what if this happens? What if I'm not ready? What if I'm not well equipped, or whatever? And it's all these people in their interview process, it wasn't just some fluke or some stroke of luck that I got chosen in a bunch of applicants and made it through this whole interview process just because, it's because these people really saw something in me. So why don't I see this in myself? Why am I always thinking that I'm going to do something wrong, or that I'm not good enough, or that, I am bad at something, or whatever, right? It's just so funny how our brains really work like that. And it's again because we're coming up on this edge, this uncomfortability piece, whatever it might be. So for you, if you feel that, you're coming up on this, this is like just such a simple topic for this episode, but I really just wanted to like ring true for you that you wouldn't have the opportunity if you were not ready. Like if you are getting a job offer, someone saw the capabilities in you to bring this home. If you're getting offered a brand deal or a festival campaign deal or whatever it is, right? Like someone clearly saw something in you and you're being presented with this opportunity for a reason. It wasn't just because like, oh, like, yeah, they feel bad for you or like whatever. It's like, no, like they saw your content, they saw your skills, they saw your resume, they saw whatever. They clearly saw something in you and are giving you this opportunity. And if you weren't ready, you wouldn't be getting the opportunity, right? And I feel like that's what happened for me with Elements. Like I proved myself in other positions that I had, that were in relation to this person, and he offered me the Elements position, and I didn't like go out networking. I didn't like throw my resume out there. I wasn't shooting my shot in the DMs, but it's just because I've proven who I am as a content creator and who I am with my work ethic and who I am just as a person, that I got this. Even after like have never been to this festival, I got offered this position, which is kind of crazy, but that just goes to show who I've been, right? And how I've proven myself to people. And so naturally these opportunities would be coming to me, and they wouldn't be coming to me if I was not ready. Here's how you can kind of start to like navigate this. If you've been presented with an opportunity, how you can really start to go through it. Because honestly, if you're on the sidelines of this opportunity, just kind of like teeter-tottering around it, walking on eggshells, like the only way to get through it is by saying yes and going through it. If you say no to it, like that's kind of another piece here. Like if you're saying no to these opportunities because you feel like you're not ready for it, it's like, how can you expect the universe to keep delivering you more opportunities if you just keep saying no and blocking yourself from that? I tend to find that happens kind of like with dating, because I think a lot of the times, I'm not trying to like generalize a lot of people, but I do think some people have some very high, almost too high of standards, to where, they meet someone just kind of like off the cuff, and then, this person does one little thing and they just get icked out right away. And then they just like, that person asks them on a date and they go no. And then that happens again with another person and they go no. And they keep getting like all of these opportunities and invitations for love, but then they keep saying no. And then they keep complaining about why they're single, right? If I called you out, I'm sorry. But I feel like that tends to happen a lot in dating these days. And it's because, we are keeping ourselves, or we're trying to protect ourselves, or we're looking for these like very specific things. But sometimes you have to kind of get past some of that stuff. Like, my boyfriend's a Gemini. Imagine if I said no because he was a Gemini, because like so many people talk about Geminis, right? Like imagine if I used that and be like, oh, but he has this like one thing, like I'm just going to say no. Like, and he's literally my dream partner, right? And so like with this reframe here, I want you to just view this as, you don't have to be 100% confident or perfect, but you do have to say yes and go through it, right? And in that's when you'll be able to kind of have the capacity to really grow into it, whatever that opportunity is. Like this whole love example, right? Like if you keep saying like, oh, but I really want a relationship, but you're saying no to every opportunity, or you're staying inside and not putting yourself out there, like you don't have the opportunity to really grow into it. Or if you're getting into a relationship the first time, for the first time in a long time or whatever, like I always say, a lot of the healing that happens when you're in a relationship. Like you can do so much healing on your own, but a lot of the healing won't actually happen until you're with someone and you have that like conversation that you approach differently, or you guys handle certain things differently than it did in a last relationship. Like, that's true healing work when you actually have another person in front of you to be doing the healing work with. Because otherwise, if you're just kind of doing it on your own, like, yeah, everything feels all fine and dandy, but it's not until you have another person in front of you that's like directly mirroring you and triggering you, that's the opportunity to really rise. And you wouldn't have the opportunity if you weren't ready for it. So you really just have to know that diving into this opportunity, accepting this opportunity, will cause you to really rise. And every step might feel like a bit of a stretch, but that's kind of like the good thing about it. Like, we're meant to grow and expand and be stretched, right? And that's how we get more opportunities. Because if I can like trace it back, like if I hadn't done the gray area TikTok, like I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity. And if I hadn't really started like my whole content creating journey, I really wouldn't have gotten the gray area opportunity. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a cadence of butterfly effects, basically, because I took every opportunity, even though I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm meant for this. I don't know if I could do this. I fought through that imposter syndrome, and I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to give it a try. I'm going to do my best, and my best is always enough. That is a belief that I've always held about myself, is that my best is always enough. And let's just try it. Let's just see what happens, you know, rather than just being on the sidelines of these opportunities and saying no and keeping myself from that growth, right? And then from there, that's kind of where I was talking about, is like starting to view it as like what could go right. This is where you start looking for like the evidence that you are ready, right? So like in the example of Elements doing their TikTok account, it's like I've managed other TikTok accounts before. I've done content for so long. I have a decade long worth of experience and knowledge about dance music and music festivals. I know how to like go and find out things about these artists and what's going on in their world and what music are they promoting? What are they currently doing? Like, I started to build up that evidence myself, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like I got this, you know? And you can do that when it comes to like job opportunities. Even in this like love and relationship example, you can be like, you know what? I am kind of feeling ready for love. Like, I've done like a lot of the work on myself. I've really taken care of myself. I know what I want, right? And so you can kind of use that as evidence that you are ready for that next step in your love and relationships or whatever it might be. And just knowing that these opportunities are really mirrors for your growth and can really help you see just how much you've built. Like the final day of Elements, I was at Bunt Set, and I just had the most like gratitude kind of moment, because like I started Vibe with 8 in 2017. Like, it's been almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years next month. And it's almost like I saw like a whole timeline of all of, you know, myself going through all the things I went through as a content creator to like this exact moment where I've gotten to manage this TikTok account. And so many people were telling me like, you literally have my dream job. And I was like, really? Like, I do? And I like had to be like, yeah, like, of course I do. Like, this is such a fun job, Aid. Like, I was so zoned in on the actual work that I forgot to like zoom out, really. And so during Bunt Set, I really was like, wow, like I really have built a lot. Like, of course I was ready for this. You know, I was really made for this. Like, I had so much fun creating content the whole weekend. And so just know that like if you are receiving it, like you really are already aligned to it energetically. Like, you've attracted this thing to you. So why not say yes and see it through and just see what happens, you know, and really trust yourself that if you're always going to be doing your best, like you're going to do the best you can to make this, you know, a success or whatever it needs to be, right? And so that's kind of where you push through and you just do it. And you just have the courage to just do it. And I feel like that's what I did, is like I almost like stepped into this like different persona for the weekend a little bit of just like, yep, I'm just going to do it. Like, you know, and just not think twice about it or whatever. And it was such a go, go, go kind of energy that I didn't even have time to have imposter syndrome, you know? And that's what you will find when you start to just take action and do this and just follow through on it. And as you continue to do it, like as you start to do this opportunity, whatever it looks like, you'll gain confidence over time. I tell people confidence isn't going to be something that you naturally just have. It's something that you generate. Same thing as motivation. you generate motivation, and how you generate it is by taking small incremental action. Same thing with confidence. And I felt that happen over the weekend. Like as I was like starting to just do more and more content, film certain things, get in the habit of it, talk to one person and get a video of them, talk to an artist and get a video of them, I just slowly but surely felt myself getting more and more comfortable with the job. And I feel like that's also going to happen with my 9 to 5 too. And I was also able to like lean on a team during the festival weekend and even at my 9 to 5. So like, I'm also just reminding myself, okay, it's not just me. Like I'm not alone in this, right? I have the tools to succeed, whether it's at Elements or whether it's in my 9 to 5. So like, just know that you might also have people around you that you can really support you as you start to take a chance on this opportunity. This past weekend really was like a big mindset challenge, but I had the best time doing it. So I really just wanted to share what was coming up for me kind of like behind the scenes, and that I also struggle with like imposter syndrome and self-doubt. But imagine if I listened to those voices, like I wouldn't have done as well as I did this past weekend. And, I feel like I left a really good impression on the work that I do and what I'm really capable of. And I even proved it to myself. Because now I'm like, heck yeah, like I did that, and I can really own it and celebrate myself and be proud of myself. So I just want you to know that you're more ready than you think you are, and to give yourself credit and that you're getting this opportunity for a reason. Like it's not some fluke. The opportunity wouldn't have shown up otherwise. The same thing kind of happens with our ideas. Like there's this concept that ideas are just out here. They're all out here in the consciousness and like the ether and like whatever. And they get dropped to us. Like they get downloaded, and me and someone else could get the same idea, but it's a matter of like who has kind of like the belief system to actually like bring it out. Because if I have the belief system of like, I can't do that, I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, then I'm not going to execute on that idea. Like say I was starting a certain business or something, and say someone else got that same idea for that business, but they believe that they were capable and that they could do anything, they would take action on that idea. And I might see that business pop up and I'm like, whoa, like I actually thought about that. And they were the ones that were able to do it, So all of us are getting these ideas and concepts and things downloaded to us, but it's a matter of who's actually, thinks that they're worthy enough to execute or has the tools and resources to execute on it even, right? And so I want you to know that when you attract like even these ideas or opportunities to you, it's not like by random, you were able to attract that yourself through just like who you are, your energy, your aura. And it wasn't just some fluke. So really stop doubting yourself and maybe reflect this week, what opportunity is in front of you right now that you've been doubting yourself on, and how can you really just step into it this week? And yeah, I invite you that if you want to kind of like further explore into this, I have my Life as a Festival membership where we're really focusing on building a life that feels really freaking good. And we have 36 members inside. It's always open, so feel free to come on in. It's $44 a month. You can cancel anytime. There's no commitment or anything. But if you really want help on executing, how to say yes to these opportunities and just start to build some momentum and really follow through on it, would love to invite you into that space where we can dive in a little bit more. But otherwise, that is it really for today's episode. It was kind of like just a little bit more nuanced and a little bit more of just like a concept and something that I really worked through during Elements weekend. So I hope it serves you well. I laid out the cards this time, so all I have to do is pick them. Also, I hung up my art, you guys. So nice. Okay, affirmation for this week says, every day I am stronger, braver, and wiser. I live and grow in harmony with the universe. Every day I am stronger, braver, and wiser. I live and grow in harmony with the universe. Gorgeous. Okay, note from your higher self. This one. Ooh, okay. Higher self says to create sacred space. Sacred space is where you go to find yourself again and again. Cute. Okay. Let's do Healing Waters, the Oracle deck. Ooh, I haven't gotten this one. Okay. The sacred well, replenishment, self-care, giving from a place of plenty. That's a really pretty card. Okay. I haven't seen this one, so okay. The sacred well is a resting place, a recovery place, a healing place. It's somewhere for weary travelers to be replenished, a place where we can receive and resource in order to go back into the world and give. As the adage says, we can only give to others what we've given to ourselves or have ourselves been given. How full is your inner well? Are you giving from a place of overspilling plenty, or are you overextending and giving from parched land? Self-care has come to be regarded as a somewhat frivolous and luxurious practice. However, self-care is much more fundamental than that. It's about resourcing ourselves in a rhythmic way. This doesn't necessarily need to involve splurging on an expensive spa break or vacation. It could simply be taking time out in nature with the sun on your back. It could be spending an extra 5 minutes each morning to slowly drink your cup of tea, or running a bath with essential oils when the children are asleep. If we're relying on our reserves to sustain us, eventually our inner well will run dry, and when we reach this place, it takes an awful lot to return to a state of balance. Do you feel guilty for putting yourself first? Do you question whether you should give yourself what you really, truly yearn for? How can you prioritize your energetic well-being? The sacred well is calling us to come home to it and to frequent it in a rhythmic way. So I'm hearing self-care is big this week for us, you guys. So the sacred well, and then create sacred space. So creating space for yourself, doing self-care. And yeah, every day you're stronger, braver, and wiser, and living and growing in harmony with the universe. So very on point cards, I must say myself. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you haven't yet, feel free to rate, review, subscribe, all the things. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one, and hope you have a very vibey rest of your week. Bye.